Generally, we do our job pretty well here at the Fan. And when I say us and we, I mean everybody. We generally service you the right way. At least we try. I think we have a good sense of what's what and, what's the real storyline, what's not. Yesterday was a disservice to the amazing listeners at WFAN.
Really?
Yeah. Like a disservice to the point where I got in the car and I'm like, man, we missed the boat a little bit here. Because everybody is telling you, mostly everybody is telling you that this is a must-win for the Jets. All right? That's what you heard. Jets got to do this. Jets are 3-3. Jets are overrated. Jets got to prove. Jets got to show they can bounce back after a bye with Salah. Jets got to handle prosperity. Jets got to do this. Jets got to do that. Well, the funny thing is, there's actually more pressure on the New York Giants, and that's what nobody's really telling you here. I don't know. The Giants are a loss away from being buried for the rest of the season. I think that's indisputable. They're in 13th place in the NFC. They still have the worst point. Oh, they're getting a little better. It was 96. Now it's 89. They've got the worst point differential in the NFL. At this point, I got to be honest with you, last year kind of feels like an anomaly. And by the way, it's a home game. So when people, Sal, and others tell you that there's more pressure on the Jets, I say they're nuts. This one's really on the Giants.
Oh, you're getting scared. You're getting scared. You know that pressure's starting to mount. And if the Jets lose, you're in big, big trouble, BT. I don't see how you could see it that way if I ask you who's the better team, Jets or Giants,
Jets.
your answer. Right. So if I ask you who has a season and who doesn't, your answer is?
Jets.
So, therefore, the Jets have to win this game.
Not necessarily, Sal.
I get what you're saying. If the Jets lose this game, could they still salvage their season and get to the postseason? Absolutely. The Giants, could they?
No.
Absolutely not. But I don't think the Giants are going to the postseason anyway. And by the way, I don't think the Jets are going to the postseason anyway. But the Jets can at least show us something here by cementing what was a very good win against the Eagles, by legitimizing their place in not only the AFC, but the AFC East with a win. Like, the division is there. The Bills lost last week. The Dolphins lost last week. Those teams don't look unbeatable. There is no reason why, even with Zach Wilson, the Jets, with a soft schedule here over the next couple of weeks, can't be a team that could contend for the AFC East. If they lose, that goes away. There is pressure on the Jets because they're the better team. Embrace it, BT.
You got to understand this. There's what I think is going to happen, and then there's how I perceive the narrative around this game being presented falsely. I think the Jets are going to win. I'm pretty confident the Jets will win. Not that they're going to destroy the Giants. I think the Jets are better. I'm not running from that. I've said for 5 months, Jets will be a playoff team. I screamed into this microphone like a psychopath after Rodgers got hurt, and I said we're unkillable. Jets are going to win this game. I'm not talking about this. It's not about a prediction. This is about creating, parameters of expectation and just a general narrative around both of these teams. And I'm going to stand by what I just said. Again, I'm down for a nice debate, but I don't know how you refute.
Well, the 2-5.
More pressure being, listen, if it's a bottom line business, right? Bottom line business and our bottom line, we both agree on this, that if the Giants lose, their season is over.
Right.
Just based on that, how is there not more pressure on the Giants? Is it okay for the Giants not to have a season? So they had a fun little season last year. They went 9-7-1, cute little story. They overachieved, but you lose to the average Jets and you go 3-14 on the season. It doesn't really matter. Nonsense. This is the New York Giants with 4 Lombardis. It's a home game. The Giants, they've got the pressure.
I like that you're holding them to a high standard that they should be held to. I respect that. And coming off of last year, they should be, just because of what their record is coming into this week, obviously at this point, shouldn't absolve them from having the pressure of following up a very good year, a great year last year. However, after watching things play out through the first 7 weeks, not like even I, who have been the biggest Giants supporter here, even I don't believe that they're going to be a playoff team this year. To me, the pressure has already been taken off when you get smoked by the Cowboys, when you lose on Monday Night Football to the Seahawks. That game, I thought there was pressure on them. And there's going to be some pressure this week because they are home, because it's a rival against the Jets, because they need to continue to build off of what they did a week ago against Washington. But in comparison to the Jets, the Jets are coming off a bye week. The division is now there for a taking. All the talk about this defense being great, this offense, and Zach Wilson, playoff, Super Bowl. The pressure is on the Jets because they're the better team. They cannot slip up here. The Giants, I don't think many people expect them to win this game or do anything with their season, where there are more people who expect something from the Jets. That's where I think the pressure is on them more.
Okay, it is BT and Sal. Good morning, everybody. Brandon Tierney, Sal Licata Show. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. And I will tell you, give you a little visual. My man Sal's got the throwback Jeff Hostetler jersey on today.
There you go, baby.
Nice threads, dude. I'll give it to you.
And you knew right away the 15 who it was for.
I
My
did.
man Haas. This is day one of the Giant jerseys that are coming the rest of the week. And then wrap around Monday, assuming Big Blue gets a victory.
Wrap around Monday.
Yeah,
What?
well, wrap on Monday. Not that kind of wrap around.
What? I mean, I know the show's devolved a little bit here, but what the hell are we saying, Sal?
I didn't say reach around. I said wrap
Oh,
around.
God. Okay, good.
There's a big difference
Good.
there, BT. Yeah.
Jeez.
What hotbed? What kind of show is this?
I
What's
don't
wrong
know.
with you?
That's a fun one.
Guy stopped me on the subway this morning. He's like, first thing he says to me, first of all, I thought I was going to get stabbed, okay? Because you just don't know it.
It is New York City.
Yeah, I don't want to get shoved or stabbed. Like, I didn't want to get pushed onto the subway, off the subway platform as the train comes. So some guy, in his way to say hello, was like, hey, can you tell me? And I'm thinking he's asking for, directions.
Yeah, how do I get to...
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, leave me
West
alone, bro.
Fourth.
I don't need it. Here, take my money. He goes, can you tell me how many yards Daniel Jones threw for in the second half of Arizona?
Get your phone, go on Google, find the old stat, find your stat yourself. So that was his way to kind of at least start the conversation. Okay.
I said, of course, a lot, and we've been talking about it. He's like, oh, I love the show. You and BT are funny. You guys are hilarious. So it was nice to hear from or to meet a listener there that likes what we're doing. But
that's fantastic.
I'm not sure if he's a fan of reach-arounds or whatever that may be.
Well, hopefully he was truthful, and he told you that he's more of a fan of me because some of these ridiculous takes about this Jet-Giant game from is driving him away from you.
He said, BT's nuts. I love him, but he's absolutely out of his mind. He was a Giant fan.
I got you.
BT's out of his mind, but obviously it's a huge week. Look, there is pressure. I do agree with you to a certain extent that there is pressure on the Giants.
It can't be pressureless. This is not like a mid-major basketball. It's not like Marist playing UConn. This is the New York Giants. I mean, how much are we lowering the bar? It's the Giants, dude.
But
it's a home game.
But the Jets
just won last week.
The Jets had the higher expectations coming into the season. The Jets still have the higher expectations right now. And I'll tell you this: we could argue Jets or Giants. There's no doubt the pressure is on you, my friend.
I embrace it.
I
love it.
I love
pressure.
it.
I can't run. I will not run. I am here for it.
You're minimizing it right now. I see what you're doing.
No,
I know your
I'm
games.
deflected. Is that what I'm doing? Trying to throw you off set? I'll be here on Monday. I'll be here Monday with the green beanie and little Rogers jersey. The shoulders pumped back
nice
and proudly.
I see you got your Jet sneakers on today. The Jordan Jets. They're fresh. I like them.
Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get to you. 877-337-6666. Already been a fun week. I mean, the ticket prices are ridiculous. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and just based on the prices themselves, I'm not saying that's the perfect barometer, but based on the tickets, this is the most anticipated Jet-Giant game in well over a decade.
Give me a quick...
Secondary market is insane.
Like, what are we talking
Jet
about?
fans they're not able to get into the building.
Are you serious?
It's tough. Unless you just are willing to pay an exorbitant price. It is through the roof.
Wow.
So we're
good for Giant fans.
Yes.
Big Blue, baby.
That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pressure's on the G-Men. Tommy's in Metuchen, New Jersey, first up. Tommy, how are you? BT and Sound on the Fan. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Okay, Tommy.
Yeah, BT, honestly, as a Giants fan here, I got to agree with you. I know, obviously, that they have an easier patch of games coming up. They just beat the Commanders. And now, obviously, the Jets is another winnable game. And you got Las Vegas after. So you have to rattle off these wins as the Giants. And I'm just a little confused, though. I just hear a lot of these Jets fans calling and acting like this is going to be an easy game for them just because they beat Philly. I mean, you still have Zach Wilson as your quarterback, so I still think the Giants have the edge in this, so their defense plays well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, easy. I'm not interested in easy right now. There are times when I am interested in easy, like, oh, this seems like an easy bet, or this seems like an easier way to get to my destination. I could bypass the traffic. No, nobody. At least I'm not. As much as I'm saying I expect the Jets to win, I am not once, unless we're goofing around, projecting anything less than this is going to be a dogfight. Giants are coming.
Well, especially based off the last couple of weeks where the Giants have shown improvement here, specifically defensively.
Defensively, their young receivers start to feel themselves a little bit here.
You think Tyrod gives them, you said this week, Tyrod gives them a better chance than Daniel Jones?
A little more vertical. We'll see who actually plays here. If it's Tyrod, he's the best backup in football outside of Gardner Minshew, who's now a starter. If it's Daniel Jones, obviously has a good skill set. Now, there's things he doesn't do well. There's things that Tyrod doesn't do well, just like there's things that Zach doesn't do well. But, I mean, if you're a Jets, if you're a Jets fan and you're saying that this is a layup, or I mean, you're out of your mind. This is gonna be tough.
I think Jet fans know. I think a lot of Jet fans. I mean, it was funny to me yesterday. We sign off the air, and here comes Evan in the studio, and we're saying hello.
Oh, would you tell everybody that this was pathetic? This encapsulates my problem with Jet fans.
But at least
and it was Evan.
At least he's realistic. It was funny to see you and Evan, both diehard, passionate Jet fans. He's like, oh, I'm expecting the worst, and you're like, I'm expecting a Super Bowl. So you are the most optimistic Jet fan I've ever met.
I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting.
I exaggerate for a fact. I didn't mean that literally. No, but you were saying you're hopeful and excited about this week.
For sure.
And he's scared.
Yeah,
he's a scared little boy.
I walked out and I'm like, I can't have the conversation. And I like Evan. We talk every day. I can't move it. I cannot have that conversation. Because you know how it started. I said, Ev, do me a favor. He usually comes in first. Tiki's usually last. Morash is probably in between, right? And Luke's is obviously in there first, getting ready to set things up. I said, would you do me a favor? I said, would you, carry the mantle for us Jet fans on your show?
Represent.
Yeah, you got Morash, who's a big Giants fan, great Giants fan. Tiki, a great Giant. Tiki's doing the game.
Right.
Luke is a Giants fan. Carry the mail, man. And he's like, I'm terrified. I'm like, what? This is the first thing out of his mouth. That's not what you can project.
And you legit were like, I can't take this. I got to go. I'll see you later.
Yeah, Greg is in Rahway. BT and Sal on the fan. Greg, what's happening?
Hey, BT, Sal, what's going on,
what's
guys?
Up, Greg?
I'm a big Giants fan, and I think all the pressure's on the Jets.
Okay, why's that, Greg?
Particularly for Zach Wilson. Both he throws in interceptions, fumbles, screws the games up. I think the Jets fans are going to really turn on him.
Good point.
That's an interesting one. Now, that's the individual player versus the team aspect. If Zach plays poorly and the Jets are still able to win, now that does, I think on some level, Greg, begin to re-amplify, if you will, that spotlight of criticism with Zach, where those who are being slowly converted, they're like, oh, come on, man. This is what we get after a bye?
Well, any regression for Zach at this point, like, it's so fragile right now that you need to continue to see improvement, even if it's not a huge step. You need to continue to see steps of improvement. Any regression, especially off a bye week and especially against the Giants, that's going to be a big problem. But that is not the argument. I think it's a good point, but I think it's different than the argument of if the Jets have more pressure than the Giants. Like, I think the Jets do, but I would have Zach Wilson would not be a part of that argument. It's just more about where the Jets are at. I would, as a matter of fact, say there's more pressure on Robert Saleh than there is Zach Wilson this week.
That's an interesting aspect of it as well. I don't think I would totally disagree with that, but at the end of the day, the head coach can't hide, the quarterback can't hide, and if you're a team that's trying to do something, you can't hide either. I just think it's the Giants based on what most of us deem the finality of their season if they lose.
Yeah, I can understand that.
877-337-6666. BT and Sal. Let's go to Levittown. Gino checks in on the fan. What's up, Gino?
How are you, fellas? First of all, I want to say hello to Sally. I miss you at night, but I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Gino. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. Second of all, BT, I love you, but, the pressure is definitely, no doubt, on two people, the Jets and you.
Me?
Yes.
The Jets and me.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. I'm all ears. Good.
BT, you knocked the Giants because they almost lost to Washington, or they could have lost to Washington. Terrible team. And now the Jets have to beat the Giants because the Giants can lose the next game, so they'll still be out of it.
So, but where's the pressure on me come from? That's what I want to probe a little more deeply into, Gino. That's an interesting part of this.
It's not on you, Sally. It's on BT.
No, me. You said BT.
BT,
you said
it's on BT.
You said it's on BT.
It's on the Jets. It's on BT.
Okay, well, I'm BT, so I'm asking you, why is it on me?
Oh, it's because the phone connection's not good.
That's okay.
Because you're so optimistic that I don't know what you're going to do on Monday if you should lose.
I'm going to show up and I'm going to get my ass kicked. Is what's going to happen. It's going to be a bloody bump.
Well, listen, I hope you don't get your ass kicked, but
Well,
I
verbally.
think it'll be a good game. I think it'll
Thanks.
be a good game.
You got it, Gino. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh, no, there will be, asses will be, not asses, ass will be kicked, and it will be mine.
I was starting to
I
think
will
of.
crawl out of the studio a bloody beaten pulp after Monday's show.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I was
geez,
starting
thanks.
to think. Last night, for whatever
can't
reason, I
wait.
couldn't sleep. I have anxiety. I have issues, and I'm starting to think of the show stuff. And there was something I thought of that was better than. Right now, we have the bet where if the Giants win, you have to dress up in a costume for Halloween on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And if the Jets win, I have to dress up in a costume. I had something that I thought was better than that, and then I forgot it. I didn't write it down.
What?
I know. I was like,
I mean,
oh,
how
I'll
good
remember.
was it if you forgot
Yeah,
it? Were
well,
you dreaming about it or half
Yeah,
asleep?
maybe like a half asleep, and then usually I'll
Gotcha.
wake up, and if I think of an idea, I'll jot it down in the notes. But I was so tired, I was like, oh, I'll remember it tomorrow, and I didn't.
Isn't
totally
it the
forgot.
best? Now, this happens so rare. I don't fall asleep very fast. You and I have talked about this a little bit. My mind's always kind of cranked up, which is both good and bad. But isn't it great when you do have that random night or that rare night when you fall asleep early, and for whatever reason, you kind of wake up just for a second, and you look at your phone, it says like 12:06.
Oh, and
you're like,
you
oh,
got,
I
like-
got the rest of the night.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And the worst though is when you wake up, like if I got to be up at 6:30 and I wake up and it's 6:10, and I'm like, you son of a, leave me alone.
Rich in Bay Ridge seems like a smart guy. He's with me. More pressure on the G-Man. Richie is on the fan with BT and Sal. Rich.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, Rich.
Just calling just because I think the Giants got more pressure. Because think about it. Last year, they went to the playoffs. Coming into this season, there's high expectations, right? You got punched in the mouth for the first few games. Whereas the Jets, it's like they got the Band-Aid ripped off. Once Aaron Rodgers went down in the first 4 plays, it's like that pressure's already gone because you've seen the bottom. And now it's just kind of you're playing with house money right now with the Jets versus the Giants.
Well, Rich, I hate the term house money only because, and I know what you mean. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but just to add a little, context there, like house money, yeah, I mean, yes and no. You've got a bunch of players who are on their first contract and a bunch of good young players on their first contract. In the NFL, it's all about finances. So eventually Sauce is getting contract number 2, and so is Brees, and so is Garrett Wilson, and so is ABT, even though he's hurt, and a few others. So I can't say it's house money. It's just it's maybe an unexpected opportunity for some, not me, for the Jets to piece together a meaningful season after Rodgers went out, and many of you thought they were dead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I chose the wrong. Maybe it's more like almost like a Cinderella season without Aaron
Okay,
Rodgers, you know what
I like that.
Yeah, but you can't.
It's better,
It's
Rich.
not. This is not the little engine that could. I mean, you can't all of a sudden say that now going into this game where you're talking playoffs are definitely happening. If you think the Jets have a great defense, if you believe in Zach Wilson, if you think this team is a playoff team that has a chance to win the division or dare you say Super Bowl, they got to win this game. There's one team in town right now that has a season. For the Giants to have a season, because their season is lost. It's been lost. For them to have a season, they have to win this game. So you can't lose something that's not there. It's not like they have a season and they're going to lose it if they lose this game. They need to win this game to start to have a season. The Jets have a season, and if they lose this game, a lot of those things that you're talking about, Super Bowl, playoffs, division, take a big hit if they lose this game.
All right, 877-337-6666. It's BT and Sal. It is a Wednesdays. We inch toward this game, which seems like it's a month away. Battle lines clearly drawn. Where's the pressure? I say more on the Giants. Sal says more on the Jets. More of your calls next on The Fan.